कुछ अशार आप सब खूबसूरत लोगों के नाम। आप आए तो बहारों ने लुटाई खुशबू, गौर फरमाएं। आप आए तो बहारों ने लुटाई खुशबू, फूल तो फूल थे, कांटों से भी आई खुशबू। But since you are in Kashmir, so we will follow the Kashmiri tradition. According to the folklore, wild rue, which is also known as Isban or Esfand in Persia, its smoke, we believe that its smoke, it wards off evil eye and it brings auspicious and positive aura around. And it's being burnt, especially in marriage occasions, and not only that, but to any auspicious occasion in order to bring the positivity and the auspicious aura around. And ladies and gentlemen, what else can be the best occasion than this conclave? And in order to inaugurate with Isban Sozi, I would like to warmly welcome Dr. Vikram Singh, IPS, former DGP Uttar Pradesh, a very renowned and celebrated author as well. I would like to invite Dr. Manjula Pooja Shroff, MD and CEO, Carolex Group, Ahmedabad. Mr. Anand, CEO, Operations of Carolex. The owner of Vitasta Publishing House, Ms. Renu Kaur, who is a Kashmiri Pandit, you might be delighted to know that, who speaks very well Kashmiri. You can converse after this event with her. I would like to call Irfan Ahmed Jamcash, if he is around, or any representative of Jamcash Weekly. I am delighted to call upon Mr. Manzoor Ahmed Burza, the owner of 14th Avenue. Last but not the least, I would like to call upon the man behind the show, Mr. Bashir Asad, Chief Editor, the Kashmir Central Magazine. I welcome you all. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for them for inaugurating with Isban Sozi. We are very delighted for this traditional inaugural of this event. The dance floor, it usually becomes alive when it becomes a stage of cultural expression, when it becomes a stage of storytelling and celebration of traditions. And how, being a Kashmiri, we dare not to mention Roof. Roof is a Kashmiri traditional folk dance. For you to understand this, it's a Kashmiri folk dance and it's vibrant facet of our diverse heritage that narrates timeless talk through its rhythmic movements and melody. So to witness this amazing performance of Roof, I would like to invite Ms. Shugufta, who is a performing artist and who has not just represented Roof only in different parts of the India, but in different parts of the world. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for Ms. Shugufta and the group. आपसे, ऑडियंस से, वो बस सराहना होती है. An artist can understand. Amazing students from University of Kashmir for a group song. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for them. Javed Ahmed from JK Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for them. They are also our sponsors, without which this event would not have been possible. Thank you so much, sir, for coming here. Amidst the performance, we have received another celebrated guest, Mushtaq sir. I would like to have your kind attention. इनके लिए जरूर मैं ये शेर फिर से दोहराना चाहूंगी. And sir, I definitely would want you to have 100% attention towards me only. आप आए तो बहारों ने लुटाई खुशबू, आप आए तो बहारों ने लुटाई खुशबू, फूल तो फूल थे कांटों से भी आई खुशबू. So let me introduce you to this amazing, who has been a huge support, Mr. Mushtaq Chaya. इनके बारे में क्या ही बोले, he is a celebrity, a celebrated figure of Kashmir. He is a CEO of Chaya Group of Industries. ये जो खूबसूरत सा वेन्यू आप देख रहे हैं, ये भी इन्हीं का ही है. He has been a huge support to this Kashmir Central Conclave. And apart from that, what else would I tell about this gentleman? He is nothing but a lively personality. आप कभी भी बोर नहीं हो जाएंगे इनके पास में. That is how he is. He has this positive, lively aura around him. Thank you so much for coming, sir. Thank you. We are having a cultural programs and दो लोग जो यहाँ पे बैठे हैं, very renowned, उनकी बात ना हो ऐसे नहीं हो सकता. I would like to welcome, I'm so sorry I take an apology कि भूल गई थी मैं. I would like to introduce you to Mr. Mushtaq Ali Khan, a renowned filmmaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for him. Thank you so much for coming. A very humble gentleman. we have come across. Thank you so much. A great, great artist he is. And another one who is busy on phone, a very renowned singer, Mr. Wahid Jilani. Thank you so much, sir. He has been a great, great support. मान लीजिए ये मैं cheers man. Thank you so much for coming. Now coming to our program. You know, Chakri, that is a folk, a very traditional and very celebrated folk music of Kashmir. So ladies and gentlemen, be prepared to this captivated and vigor and vitality of Chakri, a fantastic cocktail of music, rhythm and vibrance that is sure to leave us spellbound. And who else can do it much better than Mr. Gulzar Ahmed Ganai, a top-notch artist of All India Radio, National Award winner, who has represented Kashmir not only in India but different parts of the world around the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for Chakri artist, renowned Chakri artist, Mr. Gulzar Ahmed Ganai and the group. कुछ ऐसा टैलेंट होता है, थैंक यू सो मच, प्लीज टेक योर सीट। कुछ ऐसा टैलेंट होता है जिसकी जितनी तारीफ, जो अल्फाज कम पड़ जाते हैं और अल्फाजों के दायरे में उसको रख नहीं सकते। Ring our renowned dignitaries and outstanding audience. But who is going to do it? Well, that person, he doesn't need any introduction because he is one of its kind in the world of journalism in Kashmir. Because he has already made us all proud with his distinguished work in enormous capacities. We can say, and it would not be wrong for me to say, that he is one of the torch bearers in the world of journalism, especially in Kashmir. And he is none other than Mr. Bashir Asad, Chief in Editor, the Kashmir Central magazine, the man behind the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for Bashir Asad for formally inaugurate the audience. Thank you.
Guests from outside and within, scholars, students, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. It is really an honor and a pleasure to have all of you here to participate in this conclave. Ms. Reenu Kaul Verma is here. She is a publisher, a Kashmiri, daughter of the soil. She, a few days back, put me across to someone whom I honestly and sincerely love so much for two things. One, that he belongs to Lucknow, which is the only place that could somehow compete the hospitality of Kashmir. Dr. Professor Vikram Singh, former Director General of Police, Uttar Pradesh, a renowned author, a debater. So I have participated with you in a few debates.
After formally welcome to all of you, now we are all set to delve into the heart of the conclave that lies in the deliberation and discussion, where ideas flourish and alliances are formed. So we are going to have 4 sessions and 1 book revealing session. To start with our first session, where the theme is innovative pedagogies to transform education. To start with, I would like to call our first speaker for today's first session, Professor Shahid Rasool, Dean Students Welfare, Central University of Kashmir. And I request Mr. Wahid Jilani to please felicitate our first respected speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for him. Thank you so much, sir. Our second speaker for this session is Professor Imtiazul Haq, HOD Economics, University of Kashmir, who is having 10 years of experience post-PhD in finance, focusing on the financial sector and climate finance. And I request Professor Gul Ahmed Wani to please felicitate our today's guest speaker. So please. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. We have our another speaker for today's event, Dr. Manjula Pooja Shroff, who is the CEO of Carlex Group. Let me tell you guys, she is also a Maharani of Odisha. She is an entrepreneur, vlogger, achiever, podcaster. You name it and she is there. इनके लिए 2 लाइन, which are my favorite. Just a second. सुना है जब वो बात करते हैं तो बातों से फूल झड़ते हैं. सुना है बात करते हैं तो बातों से फूल झड़ते हैं. अगर ये बात है तो उनसे बात करके देखते हैं. And to felicitate her, I would like to request Professor Mahin Mustafa, former principal of GDC Women's Baramulla, to please felicitate our guest speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. ओडिशा की महारानी आई हुई है, थोड़ा तो वेलकम कीजिए कश्मीर. A big round of applause. I would like to request Mahin ma'am to please stay there because we have a moderator, Miss Venus Upadhyay, who is a correspondent, Epoch Times, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for our moderator of this session. And I would like to request Professor Mahin to please felicitate her. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. The session, since we have our moderator and our 3 speakers, the session may start. Meanwhile, you have any doubts, any Q&A, you can write it on your notepad, and in the last 15 minutes of the session, you can ask that. Thank you so much. Enjoy the session, and we believe in more deliberation and discussions, which will lead to the fruitful reference or feedback. Thank you so much, guys. Over to you, Venus ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, we have an extremely interesting topic at hand today. It is said that, whatever we learn in life is important, particularly in our early years. But what is more important is how we learn it and how it is taught to us. The way it is taught to us not only builds on our knowledge, but it builds who we are. It creates the personality, the ideology of the person. So today, without wasting time, I will be starting with my first question, and that is for Professor Shahid Rasool. In 2020, something unprecedented happened with humanity. With the pandemic happening, the entire world closed down. And society faced a kind of a change that was never seen before. So in Kashmir's context, how do you understand what was happening in the field of pedagogy before and what was happening in the post-COVID era? Yeah.
Thank you very much. Before I answer the question that has been raised, a very pertinent question, I want first congratulate the organizers for organizing this conclave, and I also convey the greetings from my Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Radisson, who was supposed to be here, but as you know, in government there are always emergencies, so he had to attend some online meeting in the office. He could not come, but nonetheless he asked me to convey his congratulations and greetings to all of you.
That needs policymakers' attention, because this constitutes the foundation, the base of the whole structure, and therefore must be taken very seriously. But in case of Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir rather, unfortunately, from the policymakers, this has been considered to be a dumping ground for the low-quality human resource. Wherever the employment has to be generated, it has got to be in the education sector, and if nobody finds employment anywhere, then he was told that it must to be done. So the policies were accordingly framed, like Rahbar Talim, and a huge critique of that Rahbar Talim, that you would fill the teacher posts by those human resources which have very little training at hand, and considering the fact that you are serving in a primary sector, and while you have to train a very tender brain, a very delicate brain. It's the evolution, the personality development of a child that is going to be very, very crucial, and it cannot be left to someone who has not been trained professionally in handling the child.
So she says, मुझे और थोड़ा history चाहिए. And when she found out, the mother had died 3 years ago. The child is still living in the past. It is called a crippling effect. We can't live in the past. The child has to be normal. You've given the child 6 months, 8 months, 1 year. I understand that बहुत unfortunate है. But the child has to be drawn out and asked to be normal. ये भी important है. So you have to do both. And so social, emotional needs of children need to be met along with academic, intellectual needs.
Thank you so much for that. Probably I'll come to Professor Shahid. So life is complex, and that's everywhere. Nobody prepares you to face what's going to happen next, because there is always an uncertainty factor. So when it comes to parents and teachers, obviously, even the children, that uncertainty factor, the situational factor always remains. So what is it that within the policy matter, particularly in Kashmir, is happening, where community resources are being built for that strengthening of the teaching faculties, or how you actually face the situations and how you cope up with it?
In fact, we are dealing with different types of facilities right now. We are categorized as digital natives and digital migrants. Unfortunately, the policies that are made, they are made by the digital migrants, that are we. We don't understand the requirements of our digital natives, those who were born in late 1990s. The mobile had already arrived. They figure out the use of technology better than we do at our age. And all of you must have experienced at your places that when your mobile has some problem or your laptop has an issue, it is the youngest one in the family who fixes it.
So thank you so much. That was well said. And okay, so we're going to take another question from the audience.
Hello everyone. So my name is Hashim and I am a student of journalism and mass communication at Radisson University. So my question basically is, as Professor Shahid mentioned, that phones have now become babysiters. So the question is, in times wherein we have children who know how to use a mobile phone long before they know how to talk. So what is the way forward? How are we going to teach them? The question basically is that in times wherein we have children who know how to use mobile phones long before they know how to talk, how are we going to teach them? What is the way forward? Old school, that's not going to work. Technology obviously is the solution, but what specific? What should the lawmakers do to overcome this problem? That is the mobile phones. How are we going to teach children who know how to use mobile phones?
Thank you for that question. Sir, आप रुकेंगे तो मैं जवाब दूंगी. जी, it is true that every child who is born into this environment is a digital native, which means that उनको सिखाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. They grow into the environment. But let me caution you about the dark side of technology. जब वो टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ खेलते हैं, they are exposed to anything. There is absolutely no filter. There is absolutely no pabandi. That is what we need to teach. How much is enough? आप अगर समझते हैं that phones are here to shape human beings, answer is absolutely no. Technology is a means, it is not an end. Technology will never replace a parent and definitely not a teacher. We will harness technology. We will use technology for the cause of humanity. तो हम ये कभी ना भूलें that technology is not here to replace human beings. रही बात छोटे बच्चों की, we have to be aware of the dangers of technology. And in my, I have written a book on parenting, which we will be talking in greater detail on how harmful technology can be unless checked. Everything has to be optimized, everything has to be in balance. Same with technology and human nature. आपने सुना होगा, our foreign minister Jaikishan, he said this, that why India is ruling is we understand technology, but more importantly we understand human ancient knowledge. It is knowledge and technology that will win, neither or. I hope I answered that.
Good.
I thank all these respected and revered speakers, Professor Imtiazul Haq, Professor Shahid Rasool, Dr. Manjula Pooja Shroff and Dr. Venus for having this amazing session. Before moving on to another session, during this discussion we have learned a lot, or we have had a deliberation on the inclusive of mother tongue or using the hybrid language into classrooms or everywhere. But one thing that I want to mention over here, that being a Kashmiri, this is being a teacher, what I have come across or what I have observed, which is good to mention over here, is that our students, they are so ashamed of speaking their native language, even in professional domain, be it in classroom, be it in social setup.
As we all are aware that we had been enjoying tourism since ages when it comes to Kashmir. And over the period of the time, now tourism has not remained confined to Kashmir only. When we go through the history, we see the world-renowned travelers had been to Kashmir, when there was no concept of tourism in other parts of South Asia. But the present situation is vice versa. We had been enjoying tourism since ages, but unfortunately, ours is the only state or union territory which is not having a proper tourism policy. How come we can develop tourism? How come we can market tourism in a highly competitive tourism business scenario when we don't have a proper tourism policy. And that too, once we have a very fragile ecology and environment, we are in the foothills of Himalayas and our ecology is very fragile. Tourism has unfortunately remained confined to the traditional tourist destinations of Srinagar, Gulmarg and Pahalgam. And this has taken toll of the very natural resources. Dal is one of the examples. There are so many myths, unfortunately, regarding tourism. No doubt in it that I am surrounded by the stalwarts of tourism on both my right and my left. And culture.
Thank you. Thank you, Riyaz Sahab. Nice of you. Now as we all know, the film industry of our country, which is known as Bollywood, they have played a very vibrant and very, great role in Kashmir's tourism. Right from the 50s, then 60s, 70s, and all through 80s. I can say most of the Hindi movies were shot in Kashmir.
First of all, I would like to thank Bashir Asad Saab, Wahid Jilani Saab, and all the dignitaries, particularly Bashir Asad Saab and Wahid Jilani Saab, who have just invited me to be here. Believe me, it was a very surprising invitation for me to be on this dais, because I was not earlier told to be like that in the queue. But anyways, I am really humbled and very thankful to Bashir Asad Saab. He has invited me to be here. As Roop Saab has just projected his question, I would like to just keep myself confined to the area which I belong to. That's the filmmaking. I don't have any direct connections with the tourism sector, though our films, our serials, for that matter, Bollywood, Hollywood, it's all film sector, which is deeply rooted to the tourism. No doubt. But I have my own reservations for both these sectors to deliberate upon here on this dais. First of all, films have been playing a very tremendous role in inviting tourism in across world, in the respective countries, whichever the country we can discuss, and their film industry, their television industry. They don't come here to boost my industry. These days particularly, they come here to present my youth in a farran, in a Kashmiri cap, and unfortunately with a gun, which my youth is not. If you take 10 films coming from Bollywood to shoot here, 8 films you will see they are with a backdrop of militancy. They are with a backdrop of fighting things with what we have been going through since last 3 decades. But those days are not coming back when they would come here with Jab Jab Phool Khile, when they would come here with a project of Noori. Those films have had a business of crores of rupees, but they presented real Kashmir. What has happened in these 3 decades is not the real Kashmir. That is a very different story. We don't want to go into detail to that part. But one more thing, very recently, or we can say before 1.5 years, government of the J&K has formulated a film policy which is titled as Kashmir Film Policy. We were very thrilled, me too, as a filmmaker, that this film policy would be definitely going to help the local film makers, actors, creative directors, our people who are dealing with the infrastructure, with equipment, because the title was Kashmir Film Policy.
The tourism, as you said, you were talking about the ecotourism too. But the kind of place we live, I think the tourism could be at the permit of the industry. Because as you spoke yourself, right now about the religious tourism, I would like to take you beyond the religious tourism to the education tourism, to the medical tourism, and lots of things. Because we are not only a place just to visit, we are a place to be discovered. Because since the industrial revolution, entered this subcontinent, unfortunately, we slept that time, and you know what are the reasons. See, for a tourism, the influx of the tourism we had before 90, and the influx of the tourism we had since the situation got, a bit normalized. Habitation नहीं है. Unless and until we have the very good connectivity, which is a prerequisite for the development of tourism. आप देखिए, Indian Railway is one of the world's largest railway network. और हम ही तो वो कश्मीरी में कहते हैं ना, बरतल जुनूह नमाज रावी. We have the shrine of Mata Vaishnav Devi, which is attracting more than 1 crore tourists a year. And I fail to understand, we are going to participate in the travel trade fairs abroad, and we are projecting Kashmir as a tourist destination, but we didn't succeed to attract, if we will just attract 20% of the tourists, and who are coming up to Patnita.
तक आते हैं और पटनीटॉप तो श्रीनगर में तो ये सजेस्ट करूं कि एसआरटीसी की गाड़ियां फ्री रखो आप टूरिस्ट्स के लिए जो अमरनाथ लक्षद्वीप में आते हैं लक्षद्वीप से यहाँ गए वेरी गुड कंसेप्ट गिवन बाय द हिमाचल टूरिज्म दिल्ली टूरिस्ट ट्रांसपोर्ट की गाड़ी आती है लेके ऑल इट्स अ वेरी हेक्टिक ट्रैवल लेकिन उनका एकोमोडेशन हिमाचल टूरिज्म देता है बिकॉज़ दे हैव अ नाइट स्टे सो टूरिज्म पॉलिसी इज द prerequisite, and when there is a tourism policy, it will address all the issues. हमारा solid waste management है, हमारी marketing है, हमारा tourism typology है, carrying capacity है, environmental assessment है, ये सब तभी मुमकिन है when we have a draft tourism policy. Draft tourism policy उन्होंने शो के लिए रखी है वेबसाइट पे, लेकिन जैसे प्रोफेसर मोहम्मद साहब की सजेशन थी और उन्होंने कहा भी कि जो tourism तो है ही private sector driven industry. And of course we have experts, we have UNWTO, we have PATA, we have other organizations who are ready to facilitate it, but it is question of will, where there is will, there is
Thank you, yes, thank you. Of course, any tourism destination needs nowadays global tourism policy, which I am sure in coming days the government will also come up with. And with this I thank all my dear panelists and of course the vibrant audience. I am sure all of you must have enjoyed this session on tourism. Thank you very much. I also take the opportunity to thank the organizers of this conclave, especially Mr. Azad Sahab, who gave the chance to speak on the subject of tourism. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, everyone. Since we have a number of questions coming from different students and intellectuals, but as we run short of time, so we apologize that we couldn't do it. But on lunch you can do that. So before lunch, we are going to have a book release of our renowned author, Dr. Manjula Pooja Shroff, who is MD and CEO of Carolex Group. You already have met her, a princess and queen from the royal family of Surangi. She has influenced the lives of more than 65,000 students over the past 3 decades. Driven by a passion for excellence, she has dedicated her life for the empowerment of education and advancement of education. She is an executive alumni for IIM and London School of Economics, a regular columnist, blogger, life coach. As I said, you name it and she is there. She is a singer, dancer and whatnot. So I would like to call upon stage Dr. Manjula Pooja Shroff to please come on the stage for a book review along with the dignitaries. I would like to call upon Dr. Vikram Singh. I would like to call upon Mr. Mushtaq Chaya, Professor Afzal Muhammad Zargar, Mr. Rup Trambu, Dr. Umar Imtiaz, Mr. Mushtaq Ali Khan, Dr. Majid, Dr. Bashir Asad, Professor Gul Ahmad Bani, and Mr. Waleed Jilani to please, Mr. Anand, Ms. Renu Kaur Verma to please come on the stage for unveiling of the book. Everybody give a big round of applause for them.
First, I want to start with my deepest apologies कि मैं आप और खाने के बीच में 10-15 मिनट ले ली हूँ. My deepest apologies. Thank you for this galaxy present on the stage for this book opening. It is such an honor. Thank you so much. मैं सिर्फ 2-3 points करूँगी जो कि ये book में है. I want to start with the youth of Kashmir. हर जगह पे अलग-अलग issues होते हैं. आपके यहाँ पे इशू ये है that everybody is overqualified, everybody is educated and there are no jobs. That leads to frustration and sometimes the habit of drugs. Elsewhere in India, there is another problem happening. जो सबसे अच्छे performers हैं academically, हर एक स्कूल में से एक डमी स्कूल का कॉन्सेप्ट चलता है. तो आप अगर टॉपर हैं 10th में या 12th में, 10th में खास करके आप एक डमी स्कूल में जाते हो जहाँ पे स्कूल जाते नहीं हो, सिर्फ अटेंडेंस मिलता है. आप कैरियर कोचिंग में जाते हैं. मैं नाम नहीं लेना चाहती, आप जानते हो कैरियर कोचिंग स्कूल्स क्या है. तगड़े तगड़े फीस भी भरते हो. डू यू नो व्हाट इज रियली हैपनिंग? वहां पे देयर आर ओनली 2 जॉब्स, इंजीनियरिंग एंड डॉक्टरेट. Not even 2% of success rate. एक bright student जो टॉपर है 10th में, कोटा जाके एक नंबर बन जाती है, जाता नहीं. She cannot perform. What do you think happens? This year in Kota, second term चल रहा है, 6 महीने हुए हैं. 23 children have died, have committed suicide. 35. ये ऑफिशियल नंबर है. अनऑफिशियल नंबर की गिनती आप अंदाजा लगा सकते हैं.
Thank you so much for keeping up with the time. So now we are going to serve lunch. I would like to request my speakers and renowned dignitaries, guests to please be seated over here. Your lunch will be served over here. From row 2, you can just go for lunch. But kindly cooperate because there is not that space, and in order to avoid the mess, we can just go line-wise or we can go in an organized manner because you can see the huge crowd cannot be controlled. So kindly be responsible and enjoy your lunch. Thank you. We will be meeting after lunch. Lunch will be for half an hour. We will be back within half an hour. Enjoy your lunch. Thank you, guys. I would request Mr. Umar Imtiaz to please felicitate our renowned guests. Please, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. खाना खा लिया? तालियां तो बजा दो यार. Girls from that side. Thank you so much, sir. The another speaker for this session we have is Miss Renu Kaur Verma, the founder of Vitasa Publishing House, a very renowned publisher, a Kashmiri Pandit who has published many Kashmiri books. So kindly give a big round of applause for her. And I would like to invite Miss Venus Upadhyaya to please felicitate our speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. Students at the back, लगता है खाना नहीं खाया. I must tell you, she is a great Kashmiri speaker. बहुत अच्छा कश्मीरी बोलते हैं मैम. The another speaker is Mr. Dr. Mehrajuddin Shah, Dean Cultural, Social Welfare, Central University of Kashmir. I request him to please be on the stage. And at the same point of time, I would like to request Mr. Roop Trambo to please felicitate our speaker. Again, यार तालियां तो बजा दो, बोलना पड़ता है. I would like to request Professor Gul Mohammad Bani, our moderator for this session, to please come on the stage. And I would like to request Mr. Anand to please felicitate our speaker. लगता है खाना कम पड़ गया था. Before starting off this session, so we would like to request our moderator. Professor Gul Mohammad Bani, to please keep a track of the time. Sir? I would like to request you to please keep a track of time, and if the questions are clear, I request the audience, if you are posing a question, kindly keep it very concise and brief. Yes. It has to be brief. Thank you so much. Over to the moderator, Professor Gul Mohammad Bani.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, my gratitude to the organizers of this event for having invited us to this occasion, this event, and more particularly for having involved us in a type of what you call as a discussion on a theme which is of huge significance in contemporary times. Social deviance of Kashmir, and this has been the subject matter of discussion not only among academics, opinion makers, religious leaders, political leaders, but more than that, even security experts and managers of the Indian state who are on the ground as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. For a period of time, I have seen it that more than the society, more than the religious leaders, more than what you call as in educational institutions, the state managers are at the forefront as far as the social deviance of Kashmir youth is concerned.
बच्चे भी हैं, social deviance की बात करते हैं, और अगर हम psychological या psychiatric perspective से देख लें, मुझे एक patient याद आ रहा है. It's around 8 years back. जस्ट लिसन टू मी, मेरे ख्याल में ये घर घर की कहानी बन रही है आगे। A posh Bangalore in uptown of Srinagar, I was sent by my most trusted and most, I would say, dignified psychiatrist. We have one of the dignified psychiatrists we have ever produced, Professor Mushraf Margoob sir, who has been my teacher, guide, mentor, father figure. He sent me, बेटा मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, मैं दिल्ली जा रहा हूँ, मेरी फ्लाइट है, आप पेशेंट को देख लीजिए। I went to a posh house with around 10 canals of land that too like furnished like this, the Radisson we have. Beautiful. I went inside, I saw a lady who was around 75-80 years of age. Bed पे सो रही थी, तो मैंने जगा दिया। She got very much irritated. क्यों जगाया? मेरे को नींद आई थी रात को, मेरे को पेन से नींद नहीं आती, चलेगा वहाँ से। Like you see most of the psychiatric patients, you may feel are like that. So मैंने कहा मैडम क्या बात है, मुझे डॉक्टर साहब ने भेजा है, आपको देखने के लिए भेजा है। तो एक मेड आ गई, सर बहुत रात को शोर करती है, हमें भी सोने नहीं देती है, खुद भी नहीं सोती। मैंने कहा आप कौन? उन्होंने कहा ये मेल पर्सन who is looking after her and this is female maid who is there. Where are the people around? They said sir वो यहाँ नहीं है, बाहर। One is in one country, other is in within some state in India, they not me. Very, very influential man. And I said, okay. I said, auntie, please, aap mujhe dekhne do. She said, I have no psychiatric problem. I had a psychiatric problem 10 years back when I was diagnosed as bipolar disorder. Right now, just lifted. सोई हुई थी, मैंने शीट उठा दिया, वहाँ से बहुत बदबू आ रही है।
I want to save some time for the interaction. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sir. At the very outset, I would like to thank Kashmir Central Conclave for giving me this opportunity to be over here as one of the panelists. I think the debate has been opened very candidly by Professor Sir when he said Kashmir youth had a rich history. They have been on the forefront in creating the opportunities and in creating a system that is in tune with the development and that was no more visible interest of the country. That is very much true. But when we see afterwards what happened and what we see right now, the picture is somewhat different, really different, and on many counts it is pitiable, and on many counts we feel ashamed. And on many counts, we need to recollect ourselves why it is happening. And I think this today's event is one step towards that direction. We need to ponder on it. When we talk about the youth debates, social debates of the youth, basically it is a relative concept. It has to be seen in the context of the culture, in the context of the ethos, and in the context of the traditions of a specific locality, specific location or a region. We cannot equate the social debates of Kashmir youth with the rest of the world or with the UK or with other parts of the country. Now you see here certain aspects when we talk about the social debates. We see our youth, they are breaking the norms. They no more adhere to a large extent, they don't adhere to the value-based principles of life. The reason is why it is happening. We have the number of reasons for which I am myself responsible, and we all collectively are responsible. Our education system is responsible. Our parents are responsible. Our structure of the houses and the homes are responsible. And the people who are living there, they are responsible. And we as collectively, all of us are responsible. We see as the parents, we have come out from joint families to nuclear families. And in joint families, we use it to have elders, and we use it to act as the role models for us. And we don't have those elders. We are living in a nuclear family where father is also working, mother is also working. Nobody is looking after the child, nobody is looking after the kid, and he is staying alone, and what he is doing during the day, and nobody is looking after coming from the office, and Father is busy with his own prospects, with his own engagements. Mother is taking care of the kitchen. We have left these kids, we have left the youth and unattended.
And we have periods in schools where children are taught English, maths, biology, science, everything. But एक पीरियड क्या हमारे एजुकेशन और पॉलिसी मेकर्स नहीं दे सकते हैं एवरी डे school curriculum, college curriculum, where there is a teacher. It should not be something like SUPW, which we had in our times, where two children used to be in classroom and the rest of them used to be outside somewhere. या लाइब्रेरी पीरियड होता था, कुछ बच्चे सिर्फ पढ़ते थे और कुछ बाकी लोग खेलते रहते थे. तो हमको लगता है कि वो बहुत सीरियसली लेना चाहिए एक पीरियड को जिसमें टीचर के साथ इंटरेक्शन होना चाहिए. टीचर कैन take up a book, reading culture can be, that is the way children can be taught to read a book every day. Authors can be, authors, they can have a conversation about authors, they can have a conversation about inspiring stories. So which will inspire students. And one more thing, I think children have to be kept engaged.
Invite my first speaker. I would like to call upon Dr. Vikram Singh, IPS. So, I am going to invite Professor Afzal Mohammad Zargar, Registrar, Central University of Kashmir, to please come on the dais. And again, I would like to bother and request Mr. Mushtaq Ali Khan to please felicitate our guest and his dear friend. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause for him. Mushtaq sir was very keen to felicitate him. He said he's my dear friend, so I just want to felicitate him. And you know what? It gives you another level of satisfaction when you see your friends, reaching so far. Now calling our another guest speaker who is already being felicitated, Professor Gul Mohammad Bani, to please join the forum as a speaker. Yes. And I would like to call upon Ms. Venus Upadhyay to please come on the stage and act as a moderator for this session. They have already been felicitated. आप लोग सोचेंगे कि हमने कुछ disparity कर दी है. Again, the time constraint has to be keep in mind, and we believe कि होगा. Over to you.
Good evening everyone, and welcome to the esteemed panelists here. It's been a long and a wonderful day. So my work as a journalist of the last 1 decade in this context is extremely varied. I've been on the borders, I've been in downtown Srinagar, I've been to a couple of other places and have seen certain things closely. I've written a series on global agendas in Kashmir, and there are a lot of other things that we have talked today, particularly things pertaining to youth, drug addiction. So the context of peace building is a complex and a multifaceted context today. So without wasting any time, I'll be going straight to the panelists and starting with you, sir.
you have about 7 to 8 minutes, and where you can, sum up your comments on both challenges as well as opportunities that are there today in Kashmir.
Thank you very much, Madam Venus-ji. It has been a ziyarat and a pilgrimage for me to come to this hallowed house to meet with the best students, the best faculties, and there are sumptuous takeaways for me. Beginning from my dear son, Mr. Bashir Asad Sahab, he quoted William Shakespeare, "Fools rush in where angels fear to tread." No, it is only the daring who go into the valley of death, wrote the 600. Carriage to the right of them, carriage to the left of them, carriage in front of them, and into the valley of death, wrote the 600. And I know what I'm talking about. And a man of steel like Bashir Asad Sahab is the salt of this earth.
And when you look at it, the peace building, we say this is the fundamental goal for equitable world. And this peace is essential for the growth and development. When we look at the world today, we see that peace has been replaced in many cases by wars, conflicts, ultimately affecting the common people who are not interested in these conflicts. When we look at the overall scenario at the global level, we are currently looking at the developments that is happening in the world, like Ukraine war. We are seeing USSR, Ukraine war. We are seeing what is the kind of the impacts it has made on the humanity. We have seen the world wars. We are seeing countries fighting against each other. And then within the countries also, the people fighting with each other. And we are seeing such a kind of scenario we have seen over the years in this part of our country, where we have seen bloodshed.
The session on social deviance of the youth, which we had earlier, now that the organizers have a desire that we also say certain things contribute in some way, or make some observations on peace building. And I think the context is Jammu and Kashmir, more specifically in Kashmir. As people who live here and as an academic, as part of the civil society, yes, definitely there is a role for each one of us as far as the process of peace building is concerned. We academics have always carried this heritage of understanding, making the analytical distinctions between what is peacemaking and what is peace building. Whereas peacemaking is something where states get involved, and states have to get involved. States are also driven by their own national interest. It all depends upon the dynamics of the national interest at a given point of time. When states decide to engage, and it is again the dynamics of the national interest when states sometimes decide to get disengaged.
Ashu, actually, finally I got the time to ask something. Anyways, since we are talking about peace and then the concerns of Kashmir, and obviously I can take a very opportunity to represent the voice of the youth from Kashmir. Yeah, we people believe in the vision of constitution that was set in 1947 onwards. We believe in kind of secularism. We believe in equality. We believe in liberty and whatnot. Essentially, the democratic aspect. But all of the things in Kashmir, while I can say a hit of a particular kind of religious orientation, of a particular kind of social setup, or a futuristic vision that was being attempted to socialize in Kashmir since last 30-35 years and so on. We again support the very vision of constitution, but what about the changing scenario that is now challenging the same constitutional vision in a different way? Like secularism is again a hit, if not from the very previous religious fundamentalism, but religious fundamentalism in a different form. Liberty in Kashmir is again a hit, if not from the way we have witnessed since we were born, and it is now a hit in a different way. Similarly, equality, the discrimination has been reversed in a different way. So in this context, how can we fix peace and conflict in Jammu and Kashmir?
That's a very good question and has multiple dimensions. I agree with you, there are fault lines, there have been fault lines, and there will be fault lines. But no fault line is serious and deep enough to divide us Indians from one another. One, secularism is a part of our DNA. The Constitution is sacred and nobody has a right to fool around with the Constitution. If there is one person who is incendiary and irresponsible, there are thousands who are responsible and who stand by the Constitution and secularism. Make no mistake about it. I don't say that there are lunatics everywhere. There are lunatics, जिसको कहते हैं काबुल में क्या गधे नहीं होते, गधे हर जगह होते हैं. लेकिन उन गधों का इलाज कहना तो नहीं चाहिए, लेकिन मैंने हुकूम किया है और फिर मौका आएगा तो फिर करूँगा.
Thank you everyone, thank you so much.
Now I request Mr. Shahid Ali Khan to please come on the stage for this evening. अभी तो बोलना भी नहीं पड़ा. That is how dear he is to you. Standing ovation. Sir, see the love of the students. This is what you have earned. Miss Renu Kaur Verma. Miss Venus Upadhyaya is only there. Miss Venus Upadhyaya. She also has been a constant support throughout this journey. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for her. She was not keeping well, but still she kept her commitment. Mr. Umar Imtiaz. Mr. Mushtaq Ali Khan. He is Khan but not a terrorist. And he is going to receive his certificate from his dear friend Dr. Vikram Singh. Dr. Shazia. Professor Inayat Rasool. Professor Sadiq. Dr. Shazia. She has been with us throughout the session tirelessly and continuously listening to it. Thank you, ma'am. Professor Inayat Rasool, who has been with us throughout the session, an associate professor in SP College. Professor Sadiq, coordinator of IGNO at SP College as an associate professor. Mr. Shamsuddin Bani, who has come all the way from Dalmar, Dalpatri. You can visit his place as well in Dalpatri. He has a beautiful hut over there. Professor Gul Muhammad Bani, a very lively soul. Indeed he is. You just tell him and he's there. Ramp ready. Dr. Mutahar Akif. Mr. Roof Trombone. So just please be there, we are getting more certificates. Mr. Mia Tufal, these are the organizer certificates. He is there. Mr. Faisal Hussain Akhun, Ms. Bazila Nazir, Mr. Shahid Yusuf Bhatt, Ms. Bazila Nazir, Mr. Shahid Yusuf, is your Ms. Nazish Riyaz, without their support, it could not have been possible. So they have been a core team for this organization of this event. So ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for them. Ms. Tanzila Qayyum, Ms. Faleen Wani,
मंजूर भैया मैं भी आ रहा हूँ मंजूर भैया मैं भी आ रहा हूँ मुझे भी जरूरत है उसकी
Mr. Suhail, our honorable guests, event management. Without their support, it would not have been this beautiful. They have set up everything very beautifully. So Mr. Mir Ejaz, if he's around, please be on the stage. Audio visual support, Mr. Shaukat Ahmed. very own Yasman of the show, Karta Dharta of the show, a renowned singer, Mr. Wahid Jilani. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. Now I would like to invite again Mr. Wahid Jilani for vote of thanks, and after that we will be having a group photograph. Students are looking at me कि हमारी certificates कहाँ हैं? But we already have your certificates since we ran short of time and it doesn't look good to stand there. So we have your certificates. We will give it to the Shahid sir. Is that fine with you? But a big round of applause for all of you. Without your presence, it would not have been possible. Thank you so much for being there. अपने लिए तो तालियां बजाओ भाई. Thank you so much. We are immensely grateful and we would love to have you again and over here for having such events because आप लोगों के बगैर बिल्कुल possible नहीं होता है. आप लोग हैं तभी हम हैं. Thank you so much. Over to Mr. Wahid Jilani.
गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन. आप सभी का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, खासकर जो हमारे गेस्ट बाहर से आए और जितने भी स्पीकर्स पार्टिसिपेंट्स यूनिवर्सिटी से आए, सभी का नाम एक एक करके लेना मुमकिन नहीं है. लेकिन मैं थोड़ा सा अपना एक्सपीरियंस बताऊं तो मेरे लिए ये ऑर्गेनाइज करना भी एक चैलेंज था. बशीर असद साहब, माय ब्रदर कलीग, उन्होंने भरोसा किया मुझ पे, तो मैंने तकरीबन पिछले 3 महीने से 2.5 महीने से इसमें लगे और अंडर हिज सुपरविजन एंड गाइडेंस एट द एंड ऑफ डे वी सक्सीड इन दिस. बहुत अच्छा लगा. सभी लोगों का बहुत प्यारा रिस्पांस रहा. स्टूडेंट्स, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स, टीचर्स, स्कॉलर्स, मेरे जितने भी दोस्त इस कॉन्क्लेव में पार्टिसिपेट किया, उन्होंने सबका शुक्रिया. खासकर जो हमारे स्पॉन्सर्स थे, जेके बैंक, 14 एवेन्यू, रेडिसन होटल, कैलरस एंड जैम कैश, इन सबका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. और खासकर बशीर असद साहब का शुक्रिया, उन्होंने मुझ पर ट्रस्ट दिखाया मुझ में और मैंने ये थोड़ा सा जो मैं अपील कर सका कंट्रीब्यूट मैंने किया. और इंशाल्लाह आइंदा भी हम काम करेंगे एंड will be contributing towards our society. Thank you all. Thank you so very much.
Now I would like to request our renowned guests that please be there for a photo session. We'll be having a photo session right away, so after that we can leave.